Okay, so in this video, we are learning the differences between the data type. So there's a two way to classify the data. So in this video, we learn the first way to classify the data. The data can be either categorical and the numeric data. So for the categorical data, we also call the qualitative data. So qualitative data. And then the numerical data also can call the quantitative data. Okay, so what are the differences? So the categorical data means you are using the value to characterize groups. And here I gave an example. We can use the verbal labels. For instance, the type of the vehicle, car, truck, SUV. So you can see the value of this variable, this data are categories, right? Category, therefore called categorical data. And also here, like pay type, you can be hourly worker, you pay hourly, or you get annual salary, right? And so that is the specific, write down the name. So the confusing part is that sometimes we are using a numeric number. It look like numerical, but actually they're used to label them as categories. So for instance, we can here I give you two examples. Instead of say vehicle type, car, truck, SUV, maybe I already coded this way. If it's 1 indicating it's car, if it's 2 indicating truck, if it's 3 indicating SUV. Although it's a numeric number 1, 2, 3, you have to know that 1, 2, 3 does not mean you have 1 car, 2 car, 3 car. Actually, they are used to symbolize different categories, right? And similar for pay type, I can use 0 to indicating hourly worker and 1 indicating that's the annual salary worker, right? So 0 and 1 doesn't mean you don't get paid as 0. You get $1 payment as 1. It actually just means 2 different categories. Okay, so the more examples such as your social security number, right? Social security number is a number, but the number itself is indicator about who you are. So you are matched onto a unique number. So that number is you are that number. So therefore, social security number actually is a categorical data. And similarly, as your student ID, they are all numbers. And however, it is the number is representing you. So therefore, that is also categorical data or qualitative data. Now let's move on to numerical data. So if the data is not categorical data, it will be numerical. Okay, so it's easy. So if you are able to identify categorical data correctly, and that means the one you identify is not categorical data will be numeric. So numerical data has to be numbers. Okay, numerical data has to be numbers. But on the numerical data, we have two different kinds. So one is called the discrete. The other one is called the continuous. So let's talk about continuous numerical variable first. So for the continuous numerous variable, that means the value can be any real numbers, any positive or negative real numbers. So here we're talking about the patient waiting time. So patient waiting time can be 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 3.22 minutes. So you can say it can be any real positive number, right? So that is considered as a continuous numerical number. And also the customer satisfaction. So from 0% to 100%, it can be 99.99999, right? It can also be 87.666. So it can be any real number from 0% to 100%. So that is a continuous value, right? So that is considered as a continuous numerical data. And then so the other category is called the discrete numerical data. So usually they take integers. So here we're talking about broken egg in the cartridge, right? It can be 0, 1, 2. You can now say I had 2.5 egg is broken. So it has to be integer. And also like how many kids you have in your household? 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? It has to be some kind of integers. And so the other one is like annual dental visits. You visit once, twice. You can also say I visit 1.5 times. So the discrete numerical data tend to be integer. And so this is different type of the data based on this kind of classification, either categorical or numerical. So now let's look at a practice question together, and you're going to practice more in your homework assignment, and hopefully you are able to make a good right judgment. Okay, so what type of the data, categorical, discrete numerical, or continuous numerical? is each of the following variable. If there is any ambiguity, explain why the answer is unclear. Okay, so the first is the length of a TV commercial. Okay, so first of all, the length of the TV commercial, it does not talk about the number of the TV commercials, right? So the length of a TV commercial can be 1 minute, 1.22 minutes, 1.3333 minutes. So therefore, the length of a TV commercial will be a continuous numerical data. Okay, A is a continual numeric data. 2, number of peanuts in a can of Planters mixed nuts. Okay, so the number of the peanuts in the can of the Planters mix of nuts. And then, so in this situation, you can have 1 peanut, 2 peanuts, 3 peanuts. Some students might say, hey, can I have like a half of the peanuts? I think it depends on how you count it, right? So let's say we count the half the peanuts as 1 as well, right? That's a 1 peanuts. And then, so if that's the case, you have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we are not so if we're counting the number of the peanuts, that will be discrete numeric data. So if, let me ask question the other way, instead of the number of the peanuts, the weight of the peanuts, right? The weight of the peanut in the open can of the of nuts. So in that sense, it can be 1 pound, 1.22 pound, 0.02 pound. So if we're talking about the weights, that become a continual numerical data, right? Okay, next is the occupation of a mortgage applicant. So the occupation means it can be doctor, teacher, banker. So all those values I just mentioned indicating they are just a name. So if they are individual name, that means they are categorical data, right? So therefore for C, the occupation of a mortgage applicant will be categorical data. Okay, so the last one, flight time from London, Heathrow to Chicago O'Hare Airport. And so for the flight time, okay, so of course we know every airline, they give you estimated time, right? As you go on the airline, you know, it can be 12 hours or 11 hours 30 minutes, 11 hours 20 minutes, etc., right? So if that's the case, it can be any, so given the reasonable range, so it can delay or earlier, but no matter what, it's about time. So the time would be continual numerical data, okay? It's definitely not categorical. It's about the time, the duration. It will be any real number, positive real number. So therefore, A is the continual numerical data. B is the discrete numerical data if we counting like half piece of the peanuts as 1 peanuts. And the C will be the categorical data, and the D is the continual numerical data. Okay, so hopefully this practice question help you to understand how to distinguish data, whether they are categorical, discrete numerical, or continual numerical. So in our next video, we're going to focus on another way to classify our data.